Welcome back. It's episode 49 of the Upper Decker podcast. I'm your boy Ty.
I'm your boy Tone.
And I'm your boy Dan.
And the boys are back in town, baby. Snap. 49. I got Tim Wakefield, boys. Buckle the fuck in because I'm learning some shit. I learned some shit earlier. Y'all gonna learn some shit now. Okay?
Let's do it.
So
Teach me.
You guys know that like I kind of like the Red Sox a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this was tight to hear. So obviously, you know, Wakefield known for his knuckleball. Everybody knows that. Did you know that he came up as a first baseman in the Pirates organization?
Didn't know that.
Did not know that.
Okay, so it gets funnier from there. He was constantly scolded by his manager for the Watertown Pirates because he was throwing the knuckleball around the infield. So they would come and they would take practice, batting practice field, whatever, and he'd be throwing it to the shortstops, and they'd be dancing out on the field and shit trying to catch it. So the coach would always yell at him, and he would just keep doing it because he's fucking Tim Wakefield, I guess. His first year as a professional first baseman, he had a 189 batting average, and he's quoted as the saying, I didn't have what it takes to cut it. And he knew that, so he started transitioning to being the knuckleball pitcher that we know today. He was drafted in 1988, and here you go, boys. He debuted in the MLB in 1992, debuted against the Cardinals. He threw a complete game, 10 strikeouts, on 146 pitches. So they just let old Wakefield throw that 68-mile-an-hour knuck all day, bro.
Yeah.
Just sat down those birds. He finished that season, actually. He went 8-1 with a 2.15 ERA in 13 games started. He had 51 strikeouts and 92 innings pitched, which I think is kind of crazy because you think a knuckleball, you're going to strike out way more than that.
Right, especially after 10 on your debut.
Right. He had a 1.207 whip that season. He lost in game 7. Well, he didn't lose. The Pirates lost in game 7 of the NLCS to the Braves that year, but he had Barry Bonds on his team. Like, they were that close to the World Series. It was going to be a crazy ride had my Braves not shut that train down. He finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting, but he was released a few years later due to command issues, obviously a fucking knuckleball.
Right.
And he didn't play in the majors at all in 1994. 0 major league, whatever. He was cut. He was unemployed for 6 days, and the Red Sox were like, hey, come do things for us. So the Red Sox signed him, and he made the team in 1995. That season, he finished 3rd in Cy Young voting, finishing 16-8 with a 2.95 ERA, 27 games started, 119 strikeouts compared to the 195 innings pitched, so still not that high of a strikeout rate. But he lowered that whip from his rookie season to a 1.183. Tim Wakefield, good on you, sir. Good on you.
Right.
Look at him go, dude.
He did all right in Boston there.
Yeah, crazy for a little knuckleballer, man. I mean, crazy for a knuckleball throwing first baseman.
Right. No shit. Was he on that 04 Boston team, or was he gone by then?
No. He was there, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought so.
He was there.
Got his ring.
Yeah. So that wraps up Mr. Wakefield for episode 49. Guys, we finally get to announce it. It's real. We done did it last night.
We did a
Yes,
thing.
Boy.
We did a thing.
Jessica motherfucking Kleinschmidt joined us for an interview.
She did.
So that'll be coming in the latter part of the episode. Boys, that was such a good time.
It was so much fun.
I can't wait to go back and listen to it. And again, Jess, if you're out there listening, which you should be because, you know,
You're on the show now.
Yeah. So, thank you. That was super awesome of you to come on. Without further ado, though, Tone, let's do some birthdays. Let's get rolling here, dog.
All right, my dudes. We got just 2 this week because they're big ones.
Okay.
Like real big ones. You ready?
Yeah,
Let's
big
do
ones.
it.
All right, we got Nolan. Ryan is 74 this week. Our dude, Nolan.
Hell yeah.
Man, where to begin? Hall of Famer, 8-time All-Star, 2-time ERA title. He is the all-time MLB leader in walks and strikeouts with 2,795. and 5,714, respectively. He's also the all-time leader in hits per nine with 6.66, which isn't all that shocking considering his record all-time 7 no-hitters and also had 5 broken up in the 9th inning.
That's insane.
So it's a lot of no-nos and almost no-nos.
Yeah,
dude. Pretty unhittable, huh?
His strikeout is one of the most unbreakable records in MLB. And the closest guy is Randy Johnson, and he's almost 1,000 strikeouts away. He's like 900 and change strikeouts away from him.
Right.
No one's touching that record.
No, I don't think so, based on the way the game has changed over the last few years.
Exactly.
So.
I do have a real quick question if you guys have a sec.
Yeah.
At what age does Nolan Ryan get to where his mile per hours can't match how old he is? Like, he's 74 now. Do you think he can still throw 74?
Ooh, no.
I bet you he probably if he had 3 months of training, I bet you he could probably still hit 80s.
I bet he can throw 74 sitting in a fucking chair.
What?
Oh, dude, it's Nolan fucking Ryan, bro.
But he's 74.
Yeah.
74 ain't shit, bro. That's 30 miles an hour off of what he used to throw. He's Gucci. He just stopped playing like not even 30 years ago. He's good.
I would have said like 67.
Nah, I bet he's cranking 74 still.
Okay.
Once he hits 80, I think that's where we're going to have to slow down a bit.
Whoa there, Nolan. Like,
Right.
Chill, Nolan, bro. God.
All right. Let's see. He is also a World Series winner in 1969.
Nice,
dude.
That was with the New York Mets. This dude, he soaked his fingers in pickle juice to avoid getting blisters.
Hey, whatever gets her done. Dog.
What a Nolan Ryan thing to do too, right? Like I can't imagine anybody else coming up with that shit other than like some weird like guy that pitched for 3 years. But yeah, you tell me Nolan Ryan did it, I believe that 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. Fun fact for you: he was the first major leaguer to earn a salary of $1 million or more. He signed a 4-year, $4.5 million deal back in, I think it was 1980.
I think it was 79 with the Astros.
There you go. Okay, so for the 80 season. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got you. He's also the only player in history to have his number retired by 3 separate teams: the Angels, the Astros, and the Rangers.
Look at that boy, just getting after it.
He's a boss.
Oh, Nolan. Wow. Just come out of retirement, pump 74, fucking get it done. 26 years was not enough, sir.
He'd probably fit into like the 4 slot in the Angels rotation.
Let's see if he can get up over 6,000 strikeouts.
If we're being real honest, he'd be the Rangers ace right now.
Because they keep trading everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's Nolan for you. And if it doesn't get better than that, my goodness, we have Babe Ruth.
Baby Ruthie?
The Great Bambino.
Oh my God, you mean it's the same guy?
The Sultan of SWAT.
Colossus of Clout.
The Colossus of Clout.
Babe Ruth would be 126 this week. That makes him what, Ty?
That's fucking big old, bro. Holy
big
shit.
Old. Man, he was part of the inaugural Hall of Fame class back in 1936.
Hell yeah.
He won an MVP. He's a 7-time World Series champ, which is just absurd. He's got a batting title. He's got an ERA title because he just did everything. He did it all, man.
He was the man.
One of the most fascinating human beings, let alone baseball players. He has a career WAR of 182.5.
I'd say that's pretty good, huh?
82.5 is like guaranteed Hall of Fame, and he added another 100 to that.
So putting that into perspective, the active leader in WAR right now is Albert Pujols with 100.7. So almost double.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
I guess his replacements back then probably were kind of dog shit, though, huh?
Well,
not necessarily. You got a lot of Hall of Famers from that time, buddy.
Yeah, you're right.
He played with some pretty good players. That's 18 points higher than Walter Johnson, by the way.
Wow.
Who was pretty good himself.
Yeah, he's
So,
all right.
let's see. Babe Ruth is the all-time leader in slugging percentage with 690, OPS 1.164, and OPS plus of 206.
Unbelievable.
Holy
Career.
shit.
Yeah.
Career OPS plus of 206. He's batting 116% times better than average.
Yeah. And since that's adjusted for ballparks and time, like, yeah, that's not compared to those players. That's compared to every player ever. 106% better. That's stupid.
Also, his career slugging, we said, was 690, 69. Nice.
Nice.
Two of them.
He's got 96 black marks on Baseball Reference.
That's 69 backwards.
A couple fun little things here for you. So at 6 years old, he would hang out in his father's bar, steal money from the register, steal the last 2 drops of beer from the different beer glasses he could find, and developed a taste for chewing tobacco.
That's my kind of guy.
Just putting a big old wad in at 6 years old, dude.
Oh, and it was probably pre-chewed dip.
Oh yeah, it was 1900. Yeah, he was just putting straight fucking chaw in.
He pulled that shit straight out the spittoon, dog.
That's I don't even want to think about that. All right. So this kind of, to me, sums up the type of player that Babe Ruth was. In 1917, he was pitching the first batter of the game. It was a June game versus the Senators. Walks the first batter on 4 pitches. Felt like the ump was squeezing him. Wasn't super happy about it. So, naturally, he stormed off the mound and punched the umpire in the head.
That's pretty good, man. I mean, I get it.
That's the way to treat a bad umpire, I guess. I want to punch Angel Hernandez in the head every time I watch him call a game, so I get it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to make a statement, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That rounds off birthdays, correct, Mr. Tone? You said you had 2, yeah?
Correct, sir.
Hell yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into some wheelhouse. Talk about some of these deals being done, son.
Yeah.
So.
Take it off, man.
All right. So, Twins, they're doing a couple things within, I guess, the last 24 hours. So, They signed Nelson Cruz, I believe it was last night, to a 1-year, $13 million deal.
Yeah.
And then earlier this evening, they signed Alex Colomé to a 1-year, $6.3 million deal. So, they got their closer. They got Nelly back. They're in prime position. I mean, they have to compete with the White Sox, so...
Right. It seemed inevitable that Cruz was going to go back to Minnesota. I don't know why it took this long.
Right. I mean, and again, that's 2 more 1-year deals like we've been talking about. There's more to come also later on in Wheelhouse, but man, I just think it's crazy. This is the most 1-year deals I think I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So the next 1-year deal, this is the funniest shit of all time to me. So the Rays signed Chris Archer to a 1-year, $6.5 million deal today, which makes the infamous trade come full circle. Pirates 0, Rays 4 is where I see the standings at this point, because they traded Chris Archer to the Pirates for Tyler Glasnow, Austin Meadows, and Shane Baz. They still have those guys down in Tampa, and they're still pretty fucking good. So, Chris Archer being the worst of those 4, you won the deal. You won the deal, Tampa. It's official. You got it. Good on you.
I mean, it's definitely not going to go down in MLB history as the worst trade ever. I think the Babe Ruth trade is always going to hold that one, but this has got to be the worst Pirates trade ever.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking bad.
It's terrible.
We got another terrible trade to talk about later, but for now, hey, what did the Reds do yesterday, Tom?
The Reds signed Sean Doolittle to you're not gonna believe it, a 1-year deal.
Oh shit!
1.5 million. He's gonna be a setup man there along with Lucas Sims, or maybe a closer if Amir Garrett doesn't work out. We'll see. But I think it's a good little pickup for them. I don't know that it's kind of help them too much in the standings. I think they still need to figure some stuff out. But
I think he's basically going to be a left-handed Archie Bradley, just cheaper.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, I don't think they're going to get a whole lot better, like you said, Tone, because Sean Doolittle's not a shortstop, so they need to go get one of those if they want to do anything.
They traded for somebody, but it wasn't like a huge.
It was
huge
literally
trade.
a Rule 5 draft. Fucking whatever his nuts was. They just were like, yeah, we're going to take this guy. He's 27. He can play shortstop, so we're going to put him out there. Fuck it.
Right.
Yeah. Doolittle's also 34 and coming off 2 pretty bad years. So,
yeah.
Was that Kyle Holder from the Phillies was the shortstop they got, by the way.
Oh, Dan, I'm going to let you take this one, bro. I know this. I know it gets you.
I don't really want to, but I will.
Oh, yeah. That's why you're doing it, dog.
I appreciate that, but then I get to do the next one then as payment for it. So my boy, Colton Wong signed a 2-year, $18 million deal with the Brewers. It was later revealed there is a 3rd-year club option on it. Hurts my heart because literally right next to me hanging on my wall is a signed Colton Wong jersey. Yeah, that one stings. That stings.
So would you say he's Wong gone?
You're funny.
Did the Cardinals?
You're so cute.
Did the Cardinals offer him the Wong contract?
I hate you so much, but you know what?
I just hate that it's Milwaukee.
I hate that it's Milwaukee. I'm glad he got paid something. It wasn't a 1-year deal. It's a 2, potentially 3-year deal. I mean, he's going to be fine. It does create a little bit of an infield issue for the Brewers. Early reports are saying that Keston Hiura is going to move to first. He did have some defensive issues at second base. I think I saw he was like a -18 defensive runs saved, which is a big oof. So that'll put Hiura at first, Wong at second, and I forget who they had at shortstop. We looked this up
Orlando
earlier. Arcia, yeah, at short. So up the middle, they'll be fine defensively. Again, it just sucks seeing Wong go. He was my dude. But you know who else? You know who else is my dude?
Who that?
I gotta guess.
Number 28 and the new starting third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, Nolan Arenado. That one did not hurt my heart when that trade finally came through, Ty.
Well, yeah. Why the fuck would it hurt your heart? You didn't give up shit, and he brought a sack of cash with him, dog.
Yeah, not only did we not give shit up, Colorado is paying for the first year of us to have Nolan Arenado. They're sending about $50 million in cash over, 35, including his entire $35 million salary for the first year. 15 of which is paid to the Cardinals this year. So we're on the hook for 20 million. And then we're going to get the rest of it deferred over time, over an unspecified amount of time. So you would think with all that being said, we would have given up like a Nolan Gorman or a Matthew Liberatore. No, we gave up Austin Gomber, who's a solid depth rotation piece, left-handed depth piece. Elihuris Montero, who is a third baseman. But at the moment, at the time of the trade, he was our third-ranked third base prospect. Yeah, he was our number 8 prospect, but we got Jordan Walker, who we just drafted, and Nolan Gorman ahead of him. So he had nowhere to go. Mateo Gil, shortstop. He's a wild card. He could potentially have a spot on the big league roster as he gets a little bit older. And then right-handed pitchers Tony Losi and Jake Summers. Losi kind of profiles from what I was reading as a relief guy. One of those guys that can touch 100 if he's only coming out in short spurts. I literally know nothing about Jake Summers. He was so far down our prospect chart. Like, I know absolutely nothing except we drafted him, I think 3 years ago.
I got 2 things.
Slam dunk trade right there.
Yeah. 1, Austin Gomber better win the fucking Cy Young this year.
He's not gonna.
He's gonna get hammered in Colorado, dude.
Right. And then my second point. Alex Anthopoulos is sitting down in fucking Atlanta right now being like, dang, wish I could have traded a fucking bag of peanuts for goddamn Nolan Arenado and got $50 million richer. Like, other teams are looking in like, dog, that's all it took for real.
Yeah. So
that's my biggest question mark regarding this trade. So you know, obviously this question of like, should Colorado have done it? And I think most people would say no. But that aside, you know, I just can't fathom that the other 28 teams sitting out there couldn't or wouldn't have put together a better package
Right.
for Nolan Arenado.
I mean, I know he had the no trade clause, so this might have been one of the very few places he would have gone to.
That's true.
So maybe that plays into it, but you still don't think that the Rockies would take that big of a fucking hit just to get him to St. Louis. You know?
I think what they were looking at was he was going to opt out this year in Colorado. There's no way even if it meant he was going to take less money on a contract to go play somewhere else, he was going to opt out because the dude wants to win. And he said that in his press conference. So they figured, okay, yeah, it sucks, but at least we got something instead of absolutely nothing. They would have got a draft pick because, they would have hit him with the qualifying offer.
You know what you can do with $35 million, though? Why is that a thing? That's what I can't figure out.
Well, I guess they figured if they keep him, they're going to pay him the 35. So either way, they're losing the 35.
Right. So they're basically taking that money and putting it back into the roster, next year or in 2 years or whatever. I do know that if I'm Trevor Story and Jeff Bridich comes to me with a contract extension, I'm telling him to shove it up his ass. Because there ain't no way in hell I'm going to go through that if I'm Trevor Story.
Hell no. Unreal. Well, I'm fucking sad, so I'm going to take a break, and we'll come right back with Dan's Nerd Corner.
Yeah, boy.
It's your boy Ty here from the Upper Decker Podcast. Just want to thank y'all for coming out and watching this week. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to us. We're going to be putting videos out every week now. While I got you here, go follow our socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all Upper Decker Pod. Just search us. We got a bunch of content out there. If you want to talk to us, send us a DM on Twitter. I'll get back to you immediately. So if there's something that comes up you guys want us to talk about, or something that we fucked up and you want to tell us that we fucked up, go ahead and give us a shout. Just want to thank you guys for listening, and I'll let you get back to the show. Hey, thanks for listening to me fucking talk bullshit about Anchor, but it got me like 5 cents. Dan, you want to be a nerd for me real quick, dog?
I love being a nerd. Thank you for asking.
I got you.
So this week on the Nerd Corner, we have hit an offensive statistic. We have hit a pitching statistic. So I figured, let's go defense. Okay. So we are going to look at UZR, Ultimate Zone Rating. It's a fairly common one. That and defensive run saves seem to be the most two popular ones that I can see going around. Other than fielding percentage, which is, in my opinion, just a straight dog shit way to judge a fielder. Because you got guys who don't have range who would never be able to make a play. So it goes by them and it doesn't affect their fielding percentage. So right. I don't like that. UZR essentially it puts a run value to defense. So think WAR, how you're, get a 1.0 WAR or 2.0 WAR. Same kind of concept here with UZR. There's a few factors that go into it. So outfield arm runs, double play runs, range runs, and error runs. So all of these things obviously are going to be weighted differently if you're an outfielder or a shortstop or a first baseman or catcher or what have you here. So an average score is 0. So if you're a completely league average player, you're going to have a 0 UZR. So that's fine. You can accept that in certain positions. Mm-hmm. Negative obviously means you're below average. Positive means you are you're better than average, right? And the scores are kind of based on how often that play is made by an average fielder. So it's not going to compare you to Andrelton Simmons, who's just a ridiculous stud at shortstop. It's going to be more of just like your Freddie Galvises, just your kind of average, fielders there. Okay. Good plays get rewarded more. So if you have to go way out of range to make a play, you get more points for it versus if you only had to take a couple steps to your left. And hard plays, which also means, if it's a hard play and you go for it and you miss it, you don't necessarily get deemed quite as bad. Sure. Because you shouldn't. I mean, if you've got the range to make the play and you can at least slow it down, even though you don't get the out, you should still get rewarded for that one.
Yeah, that's like diving for a ball and it knocking off your glove. You're not charged with an error.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I would rather have, speaking of Nolan Arenado, I would rather have him dive down the line and stop the ball. Even if he doesn't get the out at first, at least the guy doesn't get a double because it took a weird hop off the wall. So it takes that kind of stuff into consideration when it's scoring points for you. So Sample sizes, this is kind of the only downside to this stat is so if you go into Fangraphs, they recommend getting 3 years of data to get a good sample size. Because they can get really, really inflated or really deflated very easily. One good player, one bad play can really screw somebody up or help somebody. So you really want to get about 3 years of data. It is park adjusted as well. I forgot to mention that one earlier. So, if you've got a quirky field like Minute Maid, we talked about a couple weeks ago too, center field is weird as hell, especially, when they had that hill back there before. It does account for all of that as well. And then, so looking at like averages, like I said, 0 is a completely average score. So if you have like a 5, you're considered above average. A 10, you're great, and 15 is going to be like your Gold Glove people. So if you're looking at it and you see somebody with like a 13 UZR at the end of the season, that's a really good defensive player.
Cool. All right. So it's like,
Nice.
When does it start to get real bad? That's what I want to know.
So if you're like -10 and below, like you're a really bad fielder.
Got it.
Like
So
you're
okay.
you're Miguel Andahar, you're what's his face, the Gary Sanchez, like you're on that level of bad defense.
Just throwing the Yankees under the bus, dude. Go ahead. It's fine. Fuck it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can go a different option. I can say Nelson Cruz Game 6 2011 bad if you want.
Oh my God, he fucking did it. Oh no, didn't even see that one coming out of fucking nowhere.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I didn't even see that one coming. Like fucking Freeze didn't even see the pitch coming, bro. His eyes were closed. He got lucky as shit.
And Nelson Cruz didn't see the fly ball coming either. So
I mean, he saw it. He just really fucked it up.
So that is your nerd corner for this week. So we've got one offense, one pitching, and one defense stat now. So I'm excited to see where we're going to go in the future on this one.
I'm literally so much fucking smarter because of you, Dan. I really appreciate it, man. I'm going to smoke both of you in fantasy this year with all of the the offensive, stats that you teach me, sir. Obviously, defense don't matter on a fantasy. However, I'm going to whoop both y'all's ass. Bet.
Okay, we'll see.
Let's bet. No, let's bet.
Let's put a buck on it.
$1?
I'll finish above you.
Okay. Just whoever finishes the highest of us three gets $2 from the other ones? Like
let's do
$1
it.
each?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
Perfect. God, that's easy fucking money. You guys suck.
Yeah, just like your Boston Red Sox aren't going to make the playoffs.
Bro, whatever, dude. Fucking, we're talking fantasy, not real life, okay? Shit. Hey, Tone, you got a fucking dope name of the day for you, boy?
My dude, I got a dope name. This week, it's old Steamboat Williams.
Dude, is that the noise you make?
Yeah, I think that's a steamboat noise, right?
It is now.
Can you give me one more of those?
I don't really want to. I spit all over my desktop. I literally got my thing out to fucking wipe it off.
Oh, no. What are we doing?
Like that? That's a tugboat. Dude, I'm stupid.
Steamboat, tugboat, I don't know.
Yeah, it works.
Old Steamboat Williams. Reese Gephardt Williams. He pitched in 41 games for the St. Louis Cardinals between 1914 and 1916. He was the first and one of only 10 players to be born in Montana.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, he was out there, man. Lived out like on a ranch or something. At 18, he played for a team that was made up of just like nearby ranches, and they played against like the local town team or whatever. He had to make a 16-mile horseback ride twice a day.
Jesus.
To go play ball. Got paid 35 cents, which barely fed the horse. Okay. Like, talk about a different time, a different world. Like, could you imagine just going to like play ball with your bros and you had to like, dude, your ass would hurt so bad by the time you get there.
Right. Saddle up your fucking horse to ride 16 miles and then not even be able to feed your fucking horse with the money you made?
So his nickname is Steamboat, but he lived in Montana?
Yeah. So there's conflicting reports on where Steamboat came from. He once told someone that contrary to the time he spent on the Missouri River, his nickname actually came from his ability to put down a quote unquote steaming boatload of mashed potatoes.
That is so much better than being like a river hand.
I quit.
I cannot imagine being so good at eating mashed potatoes that I got a legit nickname from it. Like, again, these nicknames aren't just, I mean, these are nicknames that like appear on their baseball reference page as their actual name.
Right. So clearly people called him this.
Yes, this wasn't just like a funny little thing. Like everyone called him Steamboat. And he's like, yeah.
If you can get a nickname like Steamboat for just demolishing mashed potatoes, why the fuck do the three of us not have a nickname? I gotta do something good enough to get a fucking nickname, right?
Well, you have a nickname, but it's just what me and Tone call you behind your back.
Okay, whatever, new guy. Fuck.
This has got me thinking though, guys. I could put down some mashed potatoes.
Oh, you gonna take the old Steamboat challenge, dog? You gonna fucking put them?
Oh, I like it.
I want to come up with a proposition.
Okay.
How much mashed potatoes would I have to eat in order for you guys to permanently call me Steamboat?
In what unit? How do you measure mashed potatoes?
You gotta be.
Cups,
it's gotta
surely, right?
How many pounds of potatoes you make to make the mashed potatoes? Neither one of you make mashed potatoes, like real mashed potatoes.
We can, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I got 4 kids running around, man. It's Hungry Jack all day around here, dude.
I gotta think you gotta be looking at a minimum of 2 pounds of potatoes, I think, to get a name like Steamboat.
2 pounds of potatoes. How many like good size like red potatoes is that? Or Idaho potatoes?
I don't know. Think about the bags you get from the grocery store. They're either 5 or the small ones are 5 pounds. The big ones are 10 pounds. So you figure a little less than half of that. That's a lot of mashed potatoes, though, bro. All right, fine. 5 pounds then. If you think you can do it.
Whoa. You said 2. Let's start with 2. I just want to see what 2 looks like on a plate.
Tone, I want to challenge you to a fucking mashed potato eating contest. I will crush you.
Have you guys seen what 5 pounds of mashed potatoes looks like in a pot?
Nope, but I'm ready for it.
About to learn, dude.
Okay. I will make you boys a big old thing of mashed potatoes. I'll even do 4 pounds and I'll put it in half for you guys. And you guys can each sit there and eat 2 pounds of mashed potatoes. Whoever eats the most gets the name Steamboat.
Forever?
Forever.
Forever.
That's the challenge right there.
This is a great idea. We're gonna fucking Instagram live stream this shit or something.
Hell yeah. Yes, we will.
Unreal.
Okay.
All right, the gauntlet's been thrown down.
I need to know though. I'll do it either way, but I'm just curious. How do you make your mashed potatoes? Not like the process, but like, are they like kind of lumpy still, or are they like real?
I'll do whatever you want. If you want me to mix them up nice and creamy, I'll make them all creamy. If you want me just to hand mash them, so there's a little chunk to them, that's how I like them.
I want to be able to suck these motherfuckers through a cookie straw from Overwise, bro. I want to put them down. I'm gonna slam Tone so hard for this nickname.
All right.
Can you put some garlic in there for me?
Yeah, I got you. I'll put some butter, some milk, some cream cheese, some salt, pepper, some maybe a little shredded cheese in there, some garlic. I got you.
Maybe a couple chives.
I'll probably go parsley, not chives, but I got you. Yeah,
Guys,
throw a little green in there.
This is the best baseball podcast I've ever been a part of. Fucking, we just got Dan's goddamn mashed potato recipe.
There you go.
All right,
we're gonna do it.
Well, the Steamboat Challenge.
The Steamboat Challenge. Episode title? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we don't even have to fucking clarify that Jessica Kleinschmidt was on this. This is all about Steamboat now, dog.
Yeah, she just got upstaged by mashed potatoes.
Maybe we'll push her off to the next episode. I mean,
it is episode 50. That would be a good big episode to do it on.
What, the Steamboat Challenge?
No. Oh, well, that too, but no, we were saying we'll push Jessica Kleinschmidt's interview to episode 50.
No,
because all right, fine.
No, no. You guys will hear
awesome.
it. Yeah, she called me babe at one point. You'll hear it. She's on 49, dog. She's right here. She's doing 49.
That's true.
Episode 49. I gotta get the word out for my girl.
All right.
With that being said,
you sneak in.
with that being said, let's take a real quick break. And when we come back, old Jessica Kleinschmidt will be on the podcast here at Upper Decker.
Yes.
What's up, Upper Decker fans? This is Danny, one of the co-hosts of the Chumps to Champs Fantasy Football Podcast. Look, Anthony, Ty, and Dan got you covered on everything baseball, but when you're done with these boys, be sure to head over to the Chumps to Champs Podcast. We work year-round to keep you updated on everything NFL, fantasy, and otherwise. Matt, Scott, and I may be less funny and worse looking than the UD guys, but we can make you champions come fantasy season. Chumps to Champs Fantasy Football Podcast. Now back to the show.
And welcome back. Second half of Upper Decker Podcast, we have a special guest, none other than Jessica Kleinschmidt, MLB reporter for the A's, host of NBC Sports Balk Talk, co-host of Cork'd Podcast, wearing the shirt, so I guess you're welcome there, Jess. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
You're like a billboard for Jess Kleinschmidt right now. Like, you are way more Jess than I am.
Yeah, right? I definitely didn't even plan this. I got in the shower earlier, and I was like,
okay, we get it. You shower.
Right. I went to the bottom of my drawer, pulled out the Cork'd Up shirt, and...
Well, you know it's a lot. They've only been out for like a month. So if it's at the bottom of your drawer...
I got a lot of shirts, Jess.
He's got 2 whole shirts that he cycles through.
Okay. You want to hear a funny story about a Cork'd Up shirt, though? I was drinking wine the other night, and I got wine on my Cork'd Up sweatshirt. So I had to text our marketing guy, like, hey, this is like super embarrassing, but legitimately happened, but it's stained and I can't get rid of it. And I did everything I possibly could, but it was also like, you spilled wine on a wine like it was meant to be. In a way.
You should turn that into a design and then sell it.
I was thinking about it, but it looked like a shit show. Like not even like a delicate wine stain. It was like Jessica fucked up, dude.
Like you're about a bottle and a half in, and then you spill it on your shirt. All right.
Yeah, I was like, some shit went down that day. So
we had Upper Decker t-shirts made several months ago, and we did like a pre-order because we didn't know how big it was going to sell, and we 100% forgot to order any for ourselves, so we have like no record of them ever existing.
That's selfless, and I appreciate that.
Not that I was going to wear it, but I still wanted to have one.
Yeah, I get it. Like I was like shocked. I'm like, you guys are sending me so much swag. They're like, well, you have to like model them off, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like,
right.
Can I just take a photo of it?
If you need a model, Tone said he'd do it for you. So
yeah, I get a lot of requests, but I could probably fit you in.
I don't like being the ugliest one, so I can't have that.
Oh, it's the stash. It's the stash, Tone. I gotta grow the stash out.
That shit. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not doing that. I already have to deal with Rachel. Like I can't like have like all these good-looking people around me. Then I'm like a 5. In Reno, Mama's a 13. But like around anywhere else, it's not cute.
Oh, get real.
Are we gonna do a podcast?
Yeah, we're gonna do a podcast. Yes, you're talking about your stained sweatshirt and stuff.
I'm an asshole. What do you want?
So first thing, we just want to get a little bit of like background on you, I guess. I mean, I'm sure 55,000 people already know, probably more, but I just want to know what got you into baseball, like the sport itself, and then more or less the reporting side and the writer side of the whole thing. What got you into all that?
Yeah, and it's a good question because writing, I don't really remember why I liked writing. So I'm a college dropout, so I don't have a college education for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So but staying in school, kids. But so I played baseball when I was little. Like I played with the boys when I was 12 so I played baseball from the time I was 8 or 9 until my sophomore year of high school, and then I switched to softball because I didn't know that softball even existed. I thought like you played baseball and you weren't allowed to play anything else. So I was going to try out for my high school baseball team, but our coach was like, well, there's a softball team. It's the same thing. No, it's not, bro. I had to learn how to play another fucking sport, dude. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to learn how to hit at like 15 years old. That was cool. On top of leaving my boys that I played Little League with and had to play field on the field with a bunch of not just girls, but stranger girls. I didn't know any of them. So I lived like 7 lives in high school. It was rough, man. So all my boys were like hanging out and I'm like over there like, I don't know Ashley. I don't fucking know who she is. Like, come on. And so writing was just like, I love storytelling. So I just remember sitting in my house and like reading a story to my mom or my brother and my dad. And my brother's like, Jess, you should really pursue this journalism thing. And I was like, I don't know, like, you don't make money and, you know, whatever. But since I was 12, I wanted to work in sports and I wanted to be the first female MLB player. And like, I'm shorter than Jose Altuve. Like, what am I going to do? So I also cannot hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs down the dick. I'm not going to make it. So as time went on, I quit my government job and I was like, well, I'm blogging for a couple of places. And my blogging style is just different because I can tell a good story, but I also want to feel like us. How many? 4 of us?
There's 4 total. Yeah.
I'm a college dropout. There it is. Sucked at math. Peace. So I was like, well, I want people to just feel like we're having a beer and we're talking about the game. And it's just like my bros. And that's like what I've always liked. And so that's kind of how it was born. But it was tough, right? Like I didn't have a college education. So I was like, what am I going to do? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was freelancing for a bunch of places. And the short version is, while I was on the phone with Melanie Newman, she's the first female play-by-play broadcaster in Orioles history, really one of my best friends. I was on the phone with her and I was like, you know what? I can't do this freelance life anymore. Like I'm exhausted and I can barely pay the bills. And as I'm crying to her, telling her I'm going to quit, on the other line was MLB.com's Cut 4 offering me a job.
That's awesome.
And I remember crying like a baby. Like it was just like the coolest thing ever. And it's Cut 4. And if you meet me, like, you know, that's right up my alley because it's weird and it's funny and it's entertaining and it's funky and sexy and everything else. And so that's, you know, a year and a half later, that's when NBC recruited me and I've been there for 2 years. And, you know, went to my first A's game when I was 12 and I told my dad, I'm going to cover this team one day. Fuck, I did it.
Look at you now. See?
Oh, yeah.
You can't have no in your heart. You're out there talking about not being able to hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, but here you are calling.
I've actually never tried. I've never tried to hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
So then you can't say that you don't know.
You are 100% correct.
So along the lines of, you know, covering one of your favorite teams or the first team you went to, who is your all-time favorite player, athletic or not? Who is the one?
I don't know. It's tough.
Because, you have to.
I was born in Baltimore, so we're big Cal Ripken Jr. fans,
sure.
Of course.
Fair.
And I guess I went to my first Orioles game when I was just a little baby. I just don't remember it. But Eric Chavez is the reason why I fell in love with the A's. And I know we have a game coming up, including him, and I don't know what I'm just gonna
Whoa! Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and so when I discovered Eric Chavez, it was when I went to my first A's game, and this guy, right, and as I sit down, this guy hits a bomb, and I looked at the program, and him and I share a birthday, a few years apart, of course, but it was also when I transferred from first to third base to play, and so I was just like obsessed with him, and he's the reason, literally, why I came home that day and told my dad I was going to cover the A's. So I want to get him on Balk Talk and tell him that. I'm just like scared to tell him that because I don't know. It's just weird. I don't want to be like, I'm so romantic about baseball, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to be chill. I don't want to be like weird. So we'll see.
I mean, that's still a cool ass story though.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I hope he cries when I tell him.
Oh, he will.
He better.
If
like,
I
even
know,
like, if I get married and that fucker isn't crying at the end of the aisle,
right.
God.
Listen, if I know Eric Chavez, he'll cry. Okay.
If I know him.
Okay. Do you know Eric?
I might, dude. I don't know. Probably
Tomatoes.
Yeah, same thing.
So speaking of interviews, you talked about some of your favorite players. Who's your favorite interview at any point?
That's a tough one too, but I'm so excited that I have to think about it because that's like dope.
Yeah.
Do you
or maybe like one that's funny, just a funny experience, and then what?
Is it like this? Is this your favorite?
The fact that you have that saved on your
Well, it's for Matt, basically.
Right. I was very surprised by Chappie because I couldn't get him to stop talking, and people don't think that he's talkative. But even like my producer looked at me, he's like, I think I found somebody who talks more than you. I'm like, maybe. Until Liam Hendricks came, then it was like, damn, dude. All right, okay. But no, so Chappie did surprise me, but I feel like Mike Yastrzemski was really, really cool.
Ooh,
only
okay.
because I covered his MLB debut. It was an accident because like it was when that's a really cool moment too. Because I'm from Reno, so I covered the Reno Aces a lot.
Right.
When
Okay.
Mike Yastrzemski got pulled up, they were playing the Diamondbacks, and so I got to see the guys that I covered, the Aces, and then Yastrzemski, obviously the dope name. And but every time I talk to Yastrzemski, I get nervous because I feel like I'm not doing a good job covering this amazing human being. And that's my job as a reporter. Like you want people to see like who this person is. But he's always good. But I want to see like Tim Lincecum was really dope too.
Oh.
And that was when he was trying to make his comeback, and he like took the time to talk to all of us like at the Reno Aces Stadium, and like
That's
I broke
awesome.
the news about when Timmy was going to come back and stuff. Brandon Belt was really fun. All Liam Hendricks interviews are great. But
Is it because of Liam Hendricks or is it because of the accent?
see, I forget about the accent sometimes, and I think it's because I'm used to him now.
Okay.
And like, you know, I talk to Peter Moylan a lot, and I'm just used to the Aussie accent. It's a bonus for sure. But I can confidently say I've never had one bad interview, conversation, anything with Dallas Braden. He's like one of my favorite human beings ever. But I like love him like a brother, so it's a little different.
See, I like Dallas Braden too. I like his hair so much that I can't grow any on my head. I just tried to do like match it on my face here.
You can borrow some of mine. I have so much of it.
I could use it. It stopped when I was 19 and it was never pretty after that.
Yeah, I stopped growing when I was 12.
I meant my hair.
Right.
He's out here name dropping and just being like best
No,
friends
right?
with Dallas Braden and whatever, and I'm sitting here
was
looking at
a-
signed
a-
baseballs, and I'm just like, oh, sweet.
I mean, you have my picture as your background.
Listen, it's not my background all the time. It was just for that. Okay,
Not
it's
with
a
that
gimmick.
attitude.
You know what, Jess? It's going to be my work computer background tomorrow,
Good.
and I'm going to tweet it to you, and you better like it.
I will. I'll even retweet it.
Oh God! See,
And
that's why
what?
you're my favorite.
But people are gonna come at you and say you're a creep in my mentions, but I'm gonna watch it happen.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's just any other day that ends with Y with him, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about Chappie. Matt Chapman is one of my favorite players, probably top 5 right now. I'm super concerned about his hip. How's that whole situation looking?
Yeah, no, I asked, I think it was Forced about it recently. He's really well on his way for his rehab. I mean, he's working out. He's, of course, a Boris client. Boris has his own workout facility, and he was doing good. And I randomly saw James Caprillion, another A's player. He's one of the pitchers. I think he's going to do really well this season.
Mhm.
They were hanging out. I think they're both in Southern California, and Chappie looked fine. He was just kind of chilling and stuff, but he's going to be fine. I feel
Oh, boy.
like it was a precaution, everything like that. But I think I'm glad that he had it this past season, because I just feel like he needed that break. And if you're gonna fuck up, might as well be during a compacted season. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that
exactly.
he's fucked up, but it's just, you know, if you're gonna have an injury and do what you need to do, it should be there. But then like to see Jake Lamb come in and like get a hit every single time, and then you're like, oh, LaStella and Pinder can play fucking anywhere. That was really
Mhm.
cool to watch too.
Cool.
But I was really bummed that he couldn't like be there with his presence, because he's a locker room and a, you know, clubhouse leader, and they wouldn't even allow him to come because of COVID. So, but
Yeah.
That sucks.
he's well on his way, and he's going to be perfectly fine once spring training starts, which is like in 2 weeks.
I know. Well, that's all I needed to know. And do me a favor. Do not tell him that I traded him for Sonny Gray in fantasy, okay? Just keep that on the down low.
I can't promise I'm not going to tell him that.
Shoot.
Matt's gonna be so pissed.
For
Damn
Sonny,
it.
I don't think he'd get mad though. I feel like, I mean, Sonny's his boy. I feel like he'd be like, okay. But
Yeah. Well, he went down with the hip injury. I was going into playoffs. I needed
I
a
know,
starter,
but like
so-
you know how you bought like a Cork'd up shirt? It's kind of a wash now.
No. This was a complete accident. It was a hand-me-down from
You
my...
know who trades Matt Chapman? Fucking nobody. Ty.
Listen.
Ooh.
Listen.
Damn.
Is it a dynasty league?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
My team was stacked, Jess.
This is my new favorite episode of anything ever. Please keep ragging on him and talking shit to him for however much longer you want to be on here.
Dynasty league, and Chappie
Jess,
hasn't even peaked yet, bro. Like, what is
Yes,
wrong?
I
with you?
know. I love Chappie, dog. Come on.
Apparently, you have peaked though.
Oh, yeah. I picked a long time ago, Jess. You don't even have to try. I already know. We only get 3 keepers. That's it. Okay.
Mhm.
I had he who must not be named,
Mhm.
Zach Gallen, Denelson Lamet, Bellinger, Yelich. I had a superstar team, not even to mention Tatis Jr. Come on,
I
now.
don't work in fantasy anymore. You don't have to defend yourself, but
Whatever.
Santa's always watching.
I'm in
Little
trouble.
elf on the
Guys.
shelf there.
I'm in trouble, guys. Well,
All right.
yeah. Go
So
ahead, Dan.
let's roll this back so we can put Ty in the corner of shame for a
Yeah,
little
I'm gonna
bit
shut
here
up for a sec.
and just leave him off by himself over there. So baseball in general. All right. We've talked a little bit about it. We've mentioned players. Well, you've mentioned more players than anybody here. What does baseball look like in the future? I mean, as far as universal DH, that's still up in the air on if we're even going to have it this year or not. It's looking like no, but maybe yes. The way the free agent market has looked the last couple of years, and then like the new trend, especially right now, all these teams that are just dumping massive amounts of payroll, the Cubs, the Rockies, the Indians. I mean, what does that do for baseball in the future?
I feel like no matter what happens, we just had a weird season, right? It was unprecedented. And I truly believe, I mean, we saw the numbers, like numbers were impacted. There were no fans in the stands. And that is a huge loss. And I mean, it messed me up mentally. I couldn't go to a game and it really pissed me off.
Mhm.
And so I feel like with as far as we're going to start, we'll start with like the DH and stuff that I'm not 100% sure of, but I saw what the Giants did with it last year. And if you look at the collective batting average, and I talked to Alex Dickerson about it, and he was just like, yeah, I thought it was gonna be cool to like be the DH, but like nah. and there were certain players that benefited well. But you think about like the Nelson Cruzes. I know there's not a ton of DH situations, but think about it from that perspective. Or if you are the Giants or the Padres, you're like, like shouldn't we start shopping for a DH or figure out our lineup adjustments pretty soon?
Right.
But there's still a chance that they do implement it again. And mind you, I was a girl who was obsessed with the thought of it forever until I covered the Giants part-time and I was watching it and it was pretty painful. And so I like the idea of it because just from like a romantic perspective, I feel like that means Joey Votto is going to play for fucking ever, and that's great. But and then same with like David Ortiz and like Albert Pujols. Like I'm really bad with goodbyes. Like that's a good thing. And of course, I'm a huge Chris Davis fan, and I'm glad they have that because that's a whole different story. But
Right.
I really feel like of that. So there's still a possibility from what I'm hearing. I'm hearing so many different sides, like we don't know. And I know we're not going to talk about the collective bargaining agreement, but that's going to play a huge role in that.
Sure.
So the future, I don't know, but I'm glad that we tried it. And I was actually very surprised with how many managers, they're old school guys, like Bob Melvin's one of the most tenured manager, and he embraced it. He was like, I don't mind any of them. Not one he absolutely hated. He said, if I could do away, it would be that 3-batter minimum rule. But even then he didn't hate it. But even the runner starting on second, I thought it was very immature and very I remember Little League and like going with orange slices.
That's like, exactly what I was gonna say. Is it felt very Little League.
But like I also understood it. And when you're covering all of those double headers, like I was, because there were so many of them last year, especially with the A's, it's draining and it's a lot. So I'm kind of glad, but I don't think it made a huge difference. So I wish I knew more concrete stuff. But I think they're going to lean into COVID a little bit. Not saying that it's not a serious thing. It definitely is. But I definitely feel like they could use COVID to experiment with things. And, I understand what Rob Manfred's doing. Doesn't necessarily mean I agree with him 24/7, but I do understand it. I'm just not a fan of some of the stuff. So as far as that goes, I'm not sure. But it was cool to see that the players and the managers didn't 100% hate all of it, which was actually very interesting because my opinion doesn't matter. I just have to report on it. But as a former player, I was just like, that's got to go. Like Shohei Ohtani starting on second. Like, what is this?
Right.
And as far as free agency, I'm actually not that surprised. As far as, we'll talk about the monetary values in a second, but year after year, and I knew Voldemort was going to wait a while. And I feel like whether I have that relationship with him or not, I felt like it was going to take a while, because look at the Bryce Harpers and the Manny Machados of the world.
Right.
And, not everybody's going to sign like Giancarlo Stanton in the Yankees, like during winter meetings and everything like that. And especially with the lack of funds that they did. And you saw the salary dumps, and you even saw what happened with Nolan Arenado. They literally gave money to get rid of him. And like, it was an interesting, from that perspective. So monetary wise, I have no idea. But I do believe next season's going to be super, super interesting. We have that big shortstop draft class.
Oh my God, yes.
Which is now going to include Marcus Simeon,
Yes.
and everything like that. So that'll be cool. So, I mean, I'm glad 2020 was weird though, because we got a view of it.
Right.
People didn't hate it. And now we have a mental note. And I managed to cover a fucking MLB season in the middle of a pandemic, and it was weird, but kind of awesome at the same time. Like it was only 60 games, but it might as well have been 162. That's how crazy it was.
And it was still better than 0 though at the same time. Like there was a while there where it didn't look pretty at all. Like we were going to get anything.
It was more like it felt like, because baseball is the love of my life. And it felt like it was like people didn't actually like or love baseball. They just liked fighting about it. And then that kind of what reminded me of like the Hall of Fame voting too. It's like, it's a shit show now. And it's
right.
I made that joke on Cork'd Up, like it's like a monkey humping a doorknob. And that's what it felt like. Cause it was like, do you guys even know what we're voting for anymore? Like, I don't feel like you do. And that kind of broke my heart as somebody who's desperately trying to get people to fall in love with the game and making it fun and sexy, but like respect the elders that brought the game to you. So that was kind of rough, but I feel like things are definitely gonna get better. I mean, February 17th shocked me. That fucking shocked me. And I'm glad that it's happening. And I'm hoping it can actually get to a game this year.
So with that in mind, talking about bridging the gap between generations, how does it attract younger, more enthusiastic fans? NBA has done a fantastic job. MLS has a crazy young and rabid fan base. How does MLB do that?
I feel like we just need to shut the fuck up about calling baseball boring, because it's not. And I even tell people, like, I can't sometimes sit through a 9-inning game, whether I'm covering it or I'm there as a fan. Like when I'm there as a reporter, I'll take a break and go talk to my friends. Like it's still socially, it's like a social event. Like we have to remind ourselves from that. And actually had Rachel Bakovec on, and she was like, Jess, you should get on TikTok. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not getting on TikTok. Guess what? Mom's on TikTok now.
I saw that.
So yeah. So it's kind of like, and it has a lot to do with that. Like we have to remind people that there is fun and sexiness in the game. Like you have Bryce Harper wearing Louis Vuitton cleats. You have D. Gordon, who like just is always flashy and wears more jewelry than I do. And it's why, like, what kind of bubble gum are they eating, or are what they're talking shit to each other? What are they saying? Or Liam Hendricks always has a great story about him talking shit to the guys in the bullpen. And I want to know that stuff. And without being a dick and being like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I know that some of that shit's sacred, but at the same time, they know that they want fans involved, not to the extent where it's like weird, and stuff like that. And I always loved that. I loved being the reporter, bringing them into the clubhouse. Like dudes being guys is like the best storyline always. Like it's just the guys being guys is like, makes me happy, because it reminds me of like my boys. And then just all my readers, it's my demographic is bros, like, and it's fine. And even if I bring like any of my female friends, Mark Canna goes up to bat. And I one time had to ask him about the time he autographed a potato. It's a fucking funny story. It's a great story. And my girlfriends are going to be like, wait, what? And then now they have a new favorite player, and it's Mark Canna, and he autographed a potato. And he was like, yeah, you never forget your first potato. That was a direct quote from Mark Canna.
That's
amazing.
It's like, and you know what? If I wasn't wired weird, I would have never asked him about it. And even my boss was like, Jessica, you have the balls to go ask Mark Canna about the potato. I was like, fuck yeah, I do. I'm on this. And even the people in the press box, like the other writers were like, Jessica, that's a really funny story. I'm like, yeah, have fun writing about Marcus Simeon slash lines again. Like, you know, it's fine. And so that's what I wanted to do. And like, I still respect the game. I'll talk about Mark Hanna's slash lines, but I'm going to talk about the fact that he signed a potato. And so I think it's just reminding people that's one of my main goals. And that's why I loved Cut 4. We don't tell you baseball's fun. We remind you baseball's fun. And I thank God every day that I have that background in baseball. Like what was I excited about every day when I would go to the ballpark? And whether it was just eating nachos or hanging out with the guys or playing butts up or, you know, playing shadow ball or like those little things, and our put like a piece of shit home run derby that we use like the farm machine to hit to launch dingers off. So like you have to remember that stuff, because at the end of the day, these guys started playing when they were kids.
Right.
They're still playing a kid's game, but they're men now. They're men playing a kid's game. And luckily I'm kind of right in the middle too, where I'm an older woman now and I remember those days, but I'm also trying to be professional. So that's why all the shit that I do is successful, because I bring both of those worlds together. And it's hard to do. And especially me, who's like, I'm going to have so much fun with you, but you're going to take me seriously. And it's so hard to find that balance. That's what I'm trying to do. And I feel like if we all do that, more people will come out to games and we're going to spend money on shit and it's going to be good. And people will stop making fun of me for being a baseball fan. And it's stupid. And I think it's like a stupid trend too. Baseball's boring. It's like, how is it boring?
Right.
Tell me why it's boring. Well, there's 9 innings. Give me something else.
Right. You sit on your ass and eat potato chips and watch 3 hours of football.
But
you can't watch baseball.
Especially college football. Like people get off on college football. It's like it's not a timing thing, y'all. Like I don't understand what you're doing. And so if you want to have an intelligent conversation with me about it, I'm game. So it's not bad. It's just people are just being stupid and like want to complain about shit.
Man, fuck Theo Epstein. Manfred should have hired you to be the whatever the hell Epstein just signed on for.
Yeah.
On-field relations.
I'm just going to be like, oh, he couldn't afford me. He could.
He might be able to.
Very good.
If you have time, we would love to do something that we do on the show. A quick little game.
Okay.
Called Start One, Bench One, Cut One.
Okay.
Okay. You can probably figure it out just by the name, right? Yeah. So we're going to give you 3 names. You're going to pick one that you're going to start, one that you're going to bench, cut.
It's basically the baseball version of Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Yeah, you played that one.
Start, bench, cut. Okay.
All right. So we're going to keep it kind of in your wheelhouse. And we're going to start with Oakland A's third baseman.
I'm so not looking forward to this one.
So we got your boy, Matty Chapman.
They're all my boys, for the record.
We got your other boy. I was going to say your other boy.
We do
Eric
our
Chavez.
research here.
And then my third boy, Josh Donaldson. Who is the reason he had my back when I said a hot dog was a sandwich. And he was like, you know what? I had made a sandwich with the piece of bread, so it is a sandwich. So you're gonna make me choose between my 3 children? Like, okay.
You're absolutely gonna make you choose.
But here's the thing though. When I'm a mom, I know I'm gonna have a fucking favorite child.
Well, we all do, absolutely.
We all do. Like, and I'm not the favorite child, and I'm doing dope shit, and I'm still not the favorite child.
No, I'm not either. But yeah,
my brother pumped out grandkids. I'm like, okay, well, I'm already out of bad start. Yeah. Okay, so bench, cut, start. Fucking hate you.
It's a toughie.
I'm going to start Eric Chavez because he is the start to my A's obsession.
Yep, there you go.
All right, okay.
I'm going to bench Matt Chapman. Maybe he needs a break. I don't know. I'm going to cut Josh Donaldson because I know somebody else will pick him up.
You're cutting the bringer of rain. I can't with you, Jess.
Really, Ty?
Yeah. I got the Braves on my arm. Oh, come on. That boy had the best year of his career with Atlanta.
Hey, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to just take it back because you're sad. I'm not going to.
I'm always sad, Jess. Whatever. You're talking about sandwiches and hot dogs and, they're not sandwiches.
How else was I supposed to break the tie? Because he's good at baseball? No, there's a hot dog situation here.
That's fair. Dang. All right. That's not.
And also, like, it's been. I barely saw Chavez play that much, and I kind of forgot what it was like watching Josh Donaldson. But I'm more emotionally involved with Chappie.
That's fair, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
do our opinions matter? Do we want to do ours, or are we just
No,
gonna
dude,
move?
our opinion
No,
doesn't
we
matter
don't.
when
Yeah,
Jess is
okay,
here.
cool.
That's fine.
No, I didn't think so. All right, we're moving on to your other team, San Francisco Giants. Starting pitchers of the last 15-ish years. You talked about Tim Lincecum. He's number 1 on this list.
Okay.
We got Matt Cain, and we got Madison Bumgarner.
This
You
is
got to start one,
crazy.
bench
I'm
one.
gonna cut Kane. I have no attachment to him.
Wow, right away.
Damn, Jess,
None.
savage.
I don't have time for bullshit. I'm going to bench Mad Bum and start Tim Lincecum, but I'm gonna bench Mad Bum, but I'm gonna start Mason Saunders.
Oh, perfect. Oh,
Yes.
bull riding Mason
Wow.
Saunders. Love it.
Yeehaw!
My favorite was that story came out, and I had 3 lined up interviews with the Diamondbacks after Mad Bum went to the Diamondbacks, and so like Archie Bradley sits next to him, like what's coming. He's like, I'm really glad. I'm like, cool the season. Mason fucking Saunders, y'all. Like what? Like he was great because I've known Archie forever. He was a prospect with the Aces. So and that was a cool moment too, because he was like, "Oh yeah, you covered me when I was with Reno." I was like, and in front of my brand new producer at NBC, I was like, "See,
Nice. You made a good hire.
boom."
So
That was really cool.
I'm gonna derail it a little bit here.
And I could see it, like, obviously, like, cutting Kane was like, fuck, Jess. Like, but
Yeah.
I'm more emotionally attached. I broke Tim Lincecum news, and I got to watch Mad Bum when I started at NBC Sports. Matt Cain, dope career, but I have no attachment to him.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Have you ever had a sit down with Mad Bum? I'm just curious on how he is as a
I have
human.
not.
No? Okay.
No. Just
I
the
didn't
Tim
know.
Lincecum interview.
Because you see him and he just seems like the guy who calls dinner supper and like calls his son boy. And
Yeah,
like,
that's like
you
my
know.
Reno background. I feel like we would get along great. I feel like I would hate talking to him about baseball, though. I would not want to talk to him about baseball.
Well, yeah, he wants to talk about bull riding and shit.
Horses and stuff, and
Mhm.
the time that I thought I was gonna take a dip and I actually didn't because I was
Oh,
scared, and all the
yeah.
girls on the softball team made fun of me. Since I should have taken baseball, boys would never make fun of me for not doing chew.
Right. Well, it's a bad habit. Don't start it ever. Jess.
I mean, it was weird. Like, I was like, I know I'm in the sticks when my teammates that are women are taking
Right.
dips, putting a chomper in. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We're
Yeah,
sophomores in high school. What is happening?
You're talking to the Missouri in us. I see it all the time. It's totally
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So we're going to move along here. We're going to address a little bit of the future. So not to say that me and Tone are pretty smart, but I think we kind of are. We
Okay.
predicted that the A's were going to win the AL West last year. And they did. You know,
They fucking won it too.
yeah, they did great.
Yeah.
I love the A's. I pull for the A's all the time. You know, the Moneyball thing, fucking everything. It's
Yeah.
great. It's such a great story.
You know, I didn't like the Moneyball movie the first time I watched it.
We
And-
just talked about
About
that last
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
And the third time I was like, oh, this shit's good, man.
What didn't you like about it? Because I'm curious if it's like the same as me.
So I know nothing about Art Howe. I had no idea who he was, but now that because I had I'm a fucking name dropper, dude. Sorry.
You're killing
I
it.
had a Berg. He was like my second Bach Talk guest.
Nice.
And he was just like, I'm so bummed that like how they portrayed Art Howe. Because I was like, hey, like what's the weirdest like situation with Moneyball? And he was like, yeah, the soda thing was really weird because that didn't happen. And
yeah.
Art Howe. And there was something else that I later discovered that kind of got me mad. I can't remember what it was, but and I feel like Pratt did a really good job with Hatteberg, because Hatteberg, he's like a teddy bear, the sweetest guy ever. And like, but I think it was just like, I knew it wasn't 100% true,
Mhm.
Sure.
but like the Coliseum, it's a shitty place. Don't get me wrong, but it's hosted so many beautiful memories because my dad died when I was 19, and the fact that we got to go to an A's game together, and then now, and like Dick Callahan, he recently passed, and he had been, I was just a fan when I heard his voice, and then he became kind of a colleague, you know, and so it just made me like literally feel romantic about it all over again. And it's just, you know, I thank God every day when I walk in that place, like, holy shit, I get to cover a game. And that's my attachment now. Cause it's just like, oh, so I just watched it the other day, And I tweeted about it. I was like, I just want to feel something, y'all. And I did. And, you know, you have like the people on there, like Greg Papa's on there and he's my colleague. And, you know,
That's
it just,
awesome.
Lisa Guerrero, she's like that bitchy reporter. And she's actually the sweetest girl ever. And it's really funny because somebody texted me actually when my Cork'd people, and he was like, you would never talk to the players like that. I'm like, yes, I fucking would. Like, get the fuck out of my shot, Sean Mania. Like, no, I would tell like Dalton Jeffries to get the fuck out of my shot. Well, Dalton knows better. Yeah.
Do you have to like train the players on when they can and can't come around you then?
Yeah, you know what? I own the clubhouse, guys. I walk into like yeah. It was cool. Like there were a couple of the players that like asked to come on Balk Talk, which was like really, really dope. And you know, that was like a cool moment for me.
Yeah, can confirm.
If your if your schedule's ever too packed, you can just send them this way. You know, we'll just keep doing. We'll take your.
I'll send you my like overstock.
Yeah, we'll be your leftovers.
I don't have time for this. Can you go?
We're gonna send you to these 3 bums out in Missouri. Just talk to them on Zoom for 15 minutes. It's great.
Yeah.
So getting back to what I was asking, obviously the A's are going to be sporting a little bit of a different team this year. What do they need to do to stay competitive and stay at the top of the pack? Yeah, take a swig. Yeah, go ahead. Mind you, I will not talk shit on the A's at all. I love them. I love them. So.
I won't either. So I will. Don't get me wrong. Like when like the deals started happening, you know, Robbie Grossman left. I was like, okay, that's okay. We could fill that role. But like, I was genuinely impressed with what Grossman did last year. Because I was always the girl that was like, watch this guy, he's gonna do it. And then he started coming through clutch, and of course, the guys that talk shit about him didn't want to text me back. I feel like I'm really, really, really nervous about shortstop. Only because I love Nick Allen. I feel like but he has no major league experience. And defensively, just because I was a defensive nerd growing up, and that's the one thing that my game could not compete. Like nobody can compete with me defensively. But I was like Omar Vizquel. So I go up at the plate. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but nothing was going to get by me. And I feel like that's Nick Allen. And so I don't know if him and Machine are going to platoon. And if Machine gets a lot more exposure, I think he's going to make like a really good dent. I want Chad Pinder to be an everyday player, which I think he is, but I just don't know where yet. Right. But there's a weird idea. And it was funny, before Marcus Semien went to the Jays, I wrote a stupid, but also kind of amazing article. Like, what if they shift Matt Chapman to shortstop? And everyone's like, fuck you, Jess, you're so stupid. Semien left like, you know what? It's not a bad idea. I don't hate it. It's like him and Olsen have amazing chemistry. Like that shit is like relationship goals for me. I'm like, I want that. Like, I want that Pinterest wedding, you know? And so I feel like that's easy. And I feel like if you can cover foul territory at the Coliseum, you can play shortstop.
There's
easily.
Crazy.
And Chapman's like the guy who's gonna go for it. Even if he hits at the third baseman, he's gonna get it anyway, so it's fine.
Right.
And so I could see that. So I love the idea of Tony Kemp at second. If it was like my wildest dreams, Pinder and Chappie, maybe they can vice versa thing. But then I feel like that's a little bit too obnoxious. And you know, Melvin is very organized. He likes his thing, and you know, he likes diversity, but platooning isn't really like his favorite thing in the world. So I feel like once they get shortstop figured out, it's good. But I really like their pitching rotation. I genuinely mean that. You know, if Sean Mania and I had Dallas on Balk Talk, and he mentioned it. If Mania is the guy who is rounding out that rotation, like that's a good rotation. You know, if Bassi shows up like he was last year, where he was vying for a starting spot, and he became the most dependable starter. Like that's a good guy. So if he comes back and then Luzardo's supposed to be at the top of the rotation. We're not 100% sure about AJ Puck, if he's going to come out of the bullpen or be a starter, but they did bring on that Phillies guy, and that'll be interesting. I don't know why they did that. I honestly, I don't know why. Nothing against Irvin, but he's closer to home, and that's cool. But he had this ballooning ERA, and like, I don't understand that. And then, you know, you have Montes if he shows up and he's the guy that he's supposed to be, and that's great.
Yeah.
So on paper, if the guys show up and they're supposed to be how they're supposed to be, Dallas said it himself, sexual. It's a sexual start. It's a sexual rotation. I think I called him daddy too. It's a daddy rotation. And then and you go to the bullpen, you have Diekman closing it out, one earned run last year. And then you have Nick Turley, who's going to be that power from the left side who came over from the Pirates. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But it's not the end of the world. So I want them to be successful because I love covering a winning team because the guys are easier to work with.
Sure.
And they just need it. Losing Marcus Semien fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Like, no cap. And
how big of a clubhouse presence is he? Or was he?
He's very quiet, but I always joke that, like, with Semien, because he walked in, I don't know if you guys read my article, but losing Marcus Semien was big for me too, because he taught me so much about what it was like to be a Black man playing in MLB. I had no fucking idea. I had no idea.
Sure.
And he taught me. He was just like, this is what happens, him and Tony Kemp. And I'm like, well, shit, there it is. Because I'm always like in my bubble, like being a woman in sports is hard. And he's like, yeah, but like being a Black man in baseball is harder. I'm like, touche, my friend. And so I learned so much from him. And then when I interviewed him for Balk Talk, it was before quarantine, so we had media day, and I got to be with one-on-one. And he walked in, and my microphone was attached, so I couldn't stand up. And I was apologizing to him because I think it's so fucking rude. Y'all are from the Midwest. If I didn't stand up and shake your hand, just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I can't stand up. I'm attached. He goes, don't stand up for me. I don't deserve that. And I was like,
whoa,
you should fucking do your Marcus fucking Semien. And he couldn't have been further from the truth. But that was him being humble, because I always joke like he would walk in on a cloud, and like he walk around, he was the leader, and he loves it. He loves being the leader, and he's a quiet one though. He walks around demanding respect. And you see like Chris Davis, who is very, very shy, and he'll just be like, Marcus, I have to talk to you. And Semien will be like, well, do you want to talk in private or public or whatever? And he's just like, it's intimidating though, and not in a bad way. It's just like, damn, dude, this guy's like a royalty. So when the A's couldn't bring him back, just broke my heart. And they wanted to give him a deferred payment deal. And it's just like, it's not like a Liam Hendricks or a Bobby Bonilla deferred payment deal. And an Oakland native too. And so that could have been just good for the community.
Sure.
Like, A's are desperate for that. I'm begging people to come to games. I can give them free tickets and they won't go. And so that kind of sucks. That was a perk that I've got.
Well, it's a good
covering
thing.
baseball because I love the game, please. Like, what?
It's a good thing we're friends now. It's a good thing.
Exactly. Right. So just from that dynamic, so it was way bigger than baseball. It was a community thing. So losing him was huge. And I mean, there is Matt Chapman, but it's just they're two different types of leaders type of deal. So
sure.
So let's just hope that it's good. And I mean, the AL West isn't like crazy competitive this season.
Right.
Because they're not in on Bauer anymore, but I feel like the Astros are still gonna make a run for their money, and everything like that. And also don't sleep on the Angels because it's the Angels. Right. And Mariners always do something weird. And so
as long as DePoto is that GM, yeah, you don't know what the hell they're gonna do.
That asshole at the White Elephant party, dude.
He would be the worst person to have at a White Elephant party. The absolute worst.
Like the gift, and you're like, Jerry's gonna fuck this up, dude. Give him 2 more drinks of eggnog. I just don't want to deal with this. Like that's him.
Make him go to the bathroom and lock the door.
Yeah, but AJ Preller's like, hold my beer. Like, okay. I made that joke because Stafford didn't want to go back to the Lions. I was like, Preller totally checked in on Stafford. He did.
Right.
How do you want to play baseball again? I don't know.
Right.
So to kind of round that off then, are there any other free agents that you're allowed to talk about that are somewhat on the Athletics radar?
No.
Damn it. I've been pulling for like a Colton Wong type signing all off season.
Breath, babe. No,
I know.
Like I wish because I feel like last season could have been like the last off season could have been their time to like take the plunge, and even getting La Stella before the deadline. Like, you want to talk about a daddy deal? Holy shit!
Yeah, that was
and
huge.
even after the season, and Billy Bean isn't one to be like, Billy Bean's like, we're making a priority to bring this guy back. And I think he went to the wrong exit or something, because now he's on the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it was funny because my counterpart with the Giants at NBC Sports Bay Area was like, I had him on a show, and he was like, if it wasn't for you, I would never heard of LaStella. And I was like, you said that, and the universe heard it, and now you got him. And he was just like, what's LaStella like? I'm like, I don't know, but I feel like LaStella, he's like so quiet and like that dirty guy that you love to have on the team. We all had a guy like that on our team, right? Just like top men, he just like, he'll hit a home run, but also like kill someone for you.
Yeah.
Like never say shit. Like that dude totally was like kicked out of an Olive Garden once, and he was. 12 strikeouts last year? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
When he went there, I was like, I didn't have any room on my stacked ass fantasy team. I know you don't do fantasy stuff anymore, but I told Tone, I told you, I said, go snag LaStella right now. Did I not? And
you did. Yeah, true story. Yeah.
Okay.
He's insane, because even Chris Bassett, I felt like Chris Bassett was pitching to the A's or the Angels 47 times last year. Mm-hmm. And then so they finally get LaStella and Bassett rotation wise. And I think they were done playing the Angels for the season. He was like, well, at least I don't have to pitch to fucking LaStella anymore. or David Fletcher. Gosh.
Had a good year too.
Fletcher. Yeah, that name kind of came out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh. And he would hit this one ball. I think Fires is pitching him. It was like up here, and David Fletcher's like, I got this. I was like, dude, what the hell? I'll have to send y'all the thing, because like even Susan Slesser was like, is he a wizard? I'm like, yeah, 100%. 100% wizard. 100%.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's about all we got for you, Jess, unless you want to hang out and just bullshit, but
yeah, we have to stop recording.
All right, fair enough. We'll get some behind the scenes stuff after this.
Absolutely.
Is there any projects or anything you're working on that you want to just throw out there?
I do have a Balk Talk announcement coming up. I can't tell much about it,
Sure.
but some cool stuff heading more in studio time, which is really, really exciting because I need more in studio reps. I shot 60 games. I don't know, 100 episodes of Balk Talk here.
Right.
And everything like that. So it'd be nice to real reporters do this from the stadium or the studio. So that'll be good. I haven't eaten carbs in a while, so we're gonna kill it with that. Just killing it. I have some cute shoes picked out. And I guess I will talk about baseball in the process too. So it's gonna be fun. And I'm hoping I can go to the games more, because I feel like the fans need to know what I have to deal with as far as trying to make sure I'm safe, the players are safe, but I also want them to know I'm trying desperately to make them feel like they're a part of it, with just me in the stands. But I'm going to make sure that I work my ass off to make sure I can get back out there, because the fans deserve it.
Perfect. That's beautiful. So in closing, one last question for you.
Oh, shit.
It's the gimmicky bullshit that every podcast does sometimes. If you had to choose one player, all-time player, to hit a ball into the upper deck, who are you choosing?
He had to go out as a celebrity shot or something? Or?
No.
Sure, whatever.
They one swing. One
pitch, one swing.
And you're betting on them to hit the upper deck. Who you got?
The upper deck.
Upper deck.
You know, where nobody sits at the Coliseum.
Just freaking moonshot.
I'd probably go Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, beautiful.
I like that.
I don't think we've had that one yet. We've had
Because the swing just makes me want to be a better woman, right?
Same, really. I mean,
even if he whipped, which he won't, you get to watch an amazing strike.
Right, no shit.
It's freaking beautiful. Yeah.
You want to. It's you watch it and you're like, oh, I love Swan Lake. You feel like you have to watch the beautiful ballet recital or something.
Right, and now we get to see him work in the front office with old Robert. So that'll be pretty cool.
It's fucking dope, man. I'm excited.
That's good for the game. That's probably the best thing that's happened in a minute. Mm-hmm. Well, again, we just want to thank you and super appreciate you coming on, and you sliding into our DMs and asking to come here. I'm gonna air that one out.
Big diva energy for sure. I was like, I'm just gonna volunteer myself. I've only done that one other time, and I can't remember what it was, but I think it was because he had been asking me forever, and I was like, no. And then finally, I was like, hey, let me come on your podcast. And he was like, what? So. I don't do this with everybody.
I feel honored.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Well, we'll talk to you next week on Upper Decker Podcast when you come back, and
My
we'll talk about
reunion
some other
show.
things.
We'll like play some old stuff,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
mainly I can promote the new album,
absolutely. I got a mixtape dropping here soon.
my
It's gonna be
acoustic
fire.
set. Yeah.
Find
So-
some cat fights. Go straight up Bravo style on you.
Yes. Oh, fuck yeah. I love Bravo. Andy Cohen doesn't want to come on Balk Talk, and I asked him.
Why?
He's from St. Louis. We can talk to
He's
him.
a Cardinals fan. And
We'll hit him up.
Yeah, tell him. Tell him I asked. He's literally NBC's an affiliate of, or Bravo's an affiliate of NBC, and he didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope that I'm on the Real Housewives one day, and I'm just gonna ignore him during the reunion show. He's like, hey, why'd you beat her ass? I'm like, I don't know, Andy. Why didn't you come on Balk Talk? Check the tape. Check the tape, Andy. He's like, no, you literally put her in a coma. I'm like, you didn't come on Balk Talk. I don't know what you want.
Here's a screenshot.
I was like, get me drunk on Watch What Happens Live, and then watch what happens live, Andy.
Yeah, Jess ain't been eating carbs, dude. She's ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Like I have one beer. Mama's like, right.
It's gonna hit you
Right.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end this here then. Thank you, Jess. We appreciate
Thank you guys.
coming
This
out.
was a lot of
Thank
fun.
you so
Great.
much.
That was Jessica Kleinschmidt. Guys, that really just happened. Crazy, right?
That was so much fun.
That was a great time.
Appreciate you, Jess, for coming out. That was beautiful. It was amazing. It was great to get to know you, and glad we can call you a friend of the show now.
Absolutely.
We want to thank everybody else also for tuning into this episode. It was a real fun one. Thank you guys for coming out. Make sure you go back and listen to every other episode. Head over to Twitter. We're over there at Upper Decker Pod. Facebook, we're at Upper Decker Pod. Also Instagram. I'm working things into it, trying to figure that one out. So if you have ideas, or if you want to see clips of the episodes, or you want to watch me and Tone just eat the most potatoes ever made in history, go check that out. I'm also going to post the video interview with Jess to YouTube, and that's also at Upper Decker Podcast. So just go search it. It'll pop up. You'll see it. Dan, where can they listen to us, bro?
Yes. So you can find us, the Upper Decker Podcast, on all of the major streaming platforms. So Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and a whole bunch of others. So whichever system you use to listen to your podcast, just search Upper Decker Podcast and we will be there. And while you're there, if you don't mind leaving us a review or a rating, if that platform supports it, give us 5 stars. Let us climb up the rankings so more people can hear us. And if you don't want to give us 5 stars, maybe shoot us a message and tell us why, and we can fix the episode, and then we can get a 5-star from you later.
Yeah, if it's because you don't like Dan, like you liked the whole thing before Dan came on, just let us know. We'll get rid of him. It's fine.
It's
If
true.
it's because you
I'll
don't
take one
like
for the
mashed
team.
potatoes, then you can F right off.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're not our demographic anyway. So
Also, we would love to ask for your donations. They're so much appreciated. If you'd like to donate to the Upper Decker Podcast, go to anchor.fm/upperdeckerpod/support. You can sign up to be a monthly contributor, as little as $1 a month, or $5 a month, $10 a month, however much you feel like. It's all greatly appreciated. If you'd rather do a one-time donation, you can email us at upperdeckerpod2020@gmail.com, or DM us on any of our socials. We'll let you know how to send us a one-time donation, but it's all going back into the show, equipment, merchandise, just everything to put out a better quality product for you.
Hell yeah. Well, that's all we got. Let's go ahead and we'll sign off. We got the big 5-0 next week, so be sure to tune in for that one on the old Upper Decker Podcast.
peace.